Let's quickly pick up on our caller from the 708 because 708 has been just holding on for so long. 708, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, David, I'm John from Chicago.
Hey, John, what's up?
Not too much. John, by the way. I
Yes,
think you
John,
said
John. I
Sean. Might be
misspoke,
the
but I
New.
did hear you.
No, it's no problem. It's probably the New Yorker in me, even though I'm in Chicago. I have a question about your your opinions on the response that people have been given relative to everything lately in America. Now, I know there have been good stories, and it seems that there have been people that have been almost, you know, taking care of their fellow man and brother and sister, excuse me. But at the same point in time, it seems like there are a lot of people that have been vitriolic and very dark. And I was wondering if you think this is more or less a morality or an education thing, or possibly both. Because I've been a fan of yours for a while, and I highly respect your intellectual um, take on certain sociological things.
You know, I wish I had a strong answer for you. Here's the thing. I have thought for a long time, and I think it's probably a naive thought, that if there's really a global calamity or a global an incident of global importance, I sometimes will say, imagine if we found intelligent alien life, that this would so quickly make all of our day-to-day conflicts obviously irrelevant and not worth fighting over. And we would unite against or with or whatever. Like, you know, we would realize we're not alone in the universe. This is a major step forward for mankind. We would fix or instantly resolve a lot of the minor conflicts. Or we've got a global pandemic. This risks killing millions and millions of people if we don't actually deal with it. Everybody's coming together. And you've got, you know, people with ridiculous signs wearing no masks, all masked together in all these different states, people calling for the firing of Dr. Anthony Fauci. Like, it would almost be insane. If aliens did show up and we sat them down and we said, listen, we've got this global pandemic. We've got no real treatment. The vaccine's a year off. And here's what these protesters are doing. And here's what people are demanding about Dr. Fauci. The aliens would say, what the hell is wrong with Homo sapiens? They would get back on that spaceship and fly away, right? Because it's insane behavior. So I don't know if it's political polarization that's causing this. I don't know if it's ignorance that's causing this. I don't know if it's bad people or a combination of all of it. But it's if we can't come together around this, I don't know that we can ever really come together as a human race.
Yeah, I would totally agree. And I'm happy to hear you bring that analogy about the aliens. And I know you have other callers, but I just, as a teacher, because I'm a private music teacher, and because of the obvious virus, my life has changed quite a bit
Yeah.
relative to doing everything remotely. And teaching guitar, bass, and violin remotely is kind of annoying. But the thing that I've noticed the most is that some of the students that I have around here that I could still kind of safely go to their house and teach them, because I'm obviously fine myself. There's always this philosophical argument that tends to be posed to me because I think people don't realize that a lot of people are affected. Like, I just lost my uncle last week ago in
Mm.
New York to the virus and stuff like that. And I mentioned it to one of my students' parents, and they were basically going off on how it's not just Trump's fault and stuff like that, in which I could arguably do the mental gymnastics honestly to see that argument. But there's also a point in time where I'm like, shouldn't you just kind of be a little bit more compassionate relative to wanting to be right? Like, I think Stephen Fry said this in a lecture that he did, but he's like, the biggest problem with humanity right now is not the point of being like, our biggest problem is that we want to be right and not be effective
Yes.
towards everyone else.
I don't disagree with that. And
And I
it
like,
is true that this is not just Trump's fault. Every country is dealing with it. And the idea that we would have had no deaths is a silly idea. Trump's response has been a failure, but it is bigger than Trump. That doesn't excuse Donald Trump's behavior. John, I really appreciate it. I've got to run to a commercial break, but it's been so great hearing from you. I'm sorry I was not able to get to more calls today, but we will take calls again, and I appreciate everybody who did call in.